All right, so in this game, we have a bunch of things going on. We've got a bunch of people, 7 specifically, each of which is going to be in one of 2 departments. So some of them are going to be in finance, some of them are going to be in graphics. That said, though, in this game, we already know which ones are going to be which. We effectively already have assigned the people who are going to be in the finance and the graphics, so that's not something that we need to kind of worry about figuring out. And then we, of course, have to deal with the bonuses. Essentially, in this game, our purpose is going to be to figure out which people are going to get which bonuses. So to set this up, we can set this up as a grouping game based on the bonuses themselves. So essentially, we can have 3 groups. We're going to have one group for the $1,000 bonus, one group for the $3,000 bonus, and then one group for the $5,000 bonus. And the question, again, as we said, is which of these 3 bonus groups each person is going to be assigned to. Now, the people themselves happen to be K, L, M, and P, so we can set up these elements. These guys are the finance guys, and then we also have V, X, and Z, who happen to be the graphics department. And then from there, we can go into the rules. Actually, before we do go into the rules, so one thing that's worth noting is that the game doesn't actually tell us that we need to have somebody assigned to each of the 3 groups, right? So there's no minimum number for each group here. Rather, the purpose of the game is to figure out who's who, but you could have empties, right? So you could have, for example, everybody get a $5,000 bonus, and that wouldn't actually break anything. Anyways, the rules themselves. So the first rule tells us that nobody in the graphics department receives a $1,000 bonus. So I guess we can say something like the graphics department cannot be in the $1,000 bonus. And simply put, that just means that effectively V, X, and Z are just not going to go there whatsoever. And that's pretty good to know. That effectively means that these 3 guys, essentially V, X, and Z, can only really go into $3,000 or $5,000 bonus groups. Next, any employee who was rated highly effective receives a bigger bonus than anybody in their department who was not rated highly effective. So this now throws a bit of a curveball because we never talked about how effective the people are, right? That kind of comes out of nowhere. But I guess it is what it is. We'll have to kind of just roll with it. So apparently we can say that the highly effective people are going to go further to the right because that's where, for us, we have the bigger bonuses. So they're going to have to go further to the right than the not highly effective people. That said, though, there's a bit more to this because it's not just that the highly effective people in general get a bigger bonus. Rather, it's that highly effective people get bigger bonuses than others in their department. So this only applies within departments. So I guess we can add a little kind of X here to show that within the same department, highly effective people will get bigger bonuses than the not so highly effective people. Next, lastly, we're told that only L, M, and X were rated highly effective. So that's actually pretty powerful. That pretty much resolves a lot of the game, right? Because if L, M, and X are the only ones that were apparently highly effective, that means that the other guys, that would be K, P, V, and Z, these guys essentially were not highly effective. So we can actually do a lot of damage now because that means that the highly effective ones within their department have to get bigger bonuses. So if we just I'm just going to draw here a line to distinguish the different departments. That basically means that effectively L and M are going to have to get bigger bonuses than K and P, and X is going to have to get a bigger bonus than V and Z. In fact, we can even kind of add a rule here, right? We can say X is going to get a bigger bonus than both V and Z. And then likewise, we can say that L and M are going to get bigger bonuses than K and P. Now, we can actually take this one step further because as far as the graphics department are concerned, we actually earlier said that V, X, and Z cannot possibly, the graphics department cannot go into the $1,000 bonus, which means that if we want to maintain this, X has to have a bigger bonus than both V and Z. Effectively, that would mean that X can only go into 5, and then V and Z can only go into 3, because none of them can go into the $1,000 bonus. So we can actually lock these guys down now. We can say effectively that V and Z are going to go here, and X is going to go there. Now, we don't quite have as much information about the other guys, right? K, P, L, and M. I mean, L and M can basically shuffle somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000, and meanwhile, K and P are going to shuffle somewhere between $1,000 and $3,000. So we're not quite sure as to exactly where they're going to go, but still, this is a pretty good start. Let's jump into the questions themselves. So as usual, we start with what we have as the exclusion question of the game. So question number 1 says, which of the following is an allowable distribution of bonuses to the employees? Basically, what could be a complete setup? Now, we actually already have a bit of information, so let's kind of use what we have. We definitely know that X has to be in a $5,000 bonus slot, so we can go through the answer choices and essentially cross off anything in which X does not get a $5,000 bonus. So answer choice A then gets disqualified because there X is getting $3,000. Answer choice B looks okay, answer choice C looks okay, answer choice D looks okay, and E looks okay. Next, we're also equally told, right? Well, not told. We have a deduction that V and Z have to get $3,000 bonuses, so we can cross off any answer choices where that's not the case. So answer choice B, V and Z, well, Z there receives a $1,000 bonus, so that certainly is not going to work. Next, answer choice C, V and Z are both in 3,000. Answer choice D, V and Z are in 3,000. Answer choice E, V receives a $1,000 bonus, so we can certainly cross that one off. So now that just leaves us with answer choices C and D that remain. Now, between answer choices C and D, the one other thing that we really kind of have to keep track of are essentially the finance department people, right? So we said earlier that K, P, L, and M have to go kind of in that order, right? Basically, L and M have to have bigger bonuses than both K and P. So let's see what we can do with that. Answer choice C has K receiving a $1,000 bonus and P a $3,000 bonus. So if P receives a $3,000 bonus in answer choice C, then L and M both have to be higher, so they'll both have to have a $5,000 bonus. And it looks like that's exactly what happens. L and M both have $5,000 bonuses, so C is actually looking pretty good right now. Answer choice D, on the other hand, we have K and P receiving $3,000 and $1,000 bonuses respectively, but wait a minute, M is receiving a $3,000 bonus, except M is supposed to get a bigger bonus than K, right? So they can't both receive a $3,000 bonus. So answer choice D gets disqualified, which leaves us with answer choice C as the only viable answer for question number 1. Next. Question number 2. So this one's our first local question here, which says, if Lopez does not receive the same bonus as Meng, so if L and M do not get the same bonus, so effectively, for this scenario, L and M are going to have to be in different groups. So as usual, the first question is, what does that tell us, right? What does that mean for us, effectively? Well, we know that L and M are both kind of on that higher end of the pay scale, right? We know that L and M both have to get bigger bonuses than K and P, which means, wait a minute, if L and M are not together, if they have to be in separate groups, effectively that means that, well, they can't be in one, so they're going to have to kind of split between groups 3 and 5. So we can actually kind of say that between the $3,000 and $5,000 bonuses, one of them is going to be L, and the other one is going to be M. We don't quite know which one is which, but effectively those guys are going to have to take up those 2 slots one way or the other. Now, of course, as usual, X is already in the $5,000 bonus slot, and then V and Z both have to go into the $3,000 bonus slot. Now, as far as K and P are now concerned, well, we know they have to get lower bonuses than both L and M, so they certainly can't be in the $3,000 bonus slot, which means that K and P will both get $1,000 bonuses, and that pretty much resolves everything, really. Well, almost everything. We still don't quite know where L and M are going to go, but that's quite all right. The question itself now asks, which of the following could be true? A, K receives $3,000. Nope, K currently is receiving $1,000. B, L receives a $3,000 bonus. Well, actually, yeah, L could be the guy that receives a $3,000 bonus, which would mean that M would have received a $5,000 bonus, which is arguably okay. Just in case, let's take a look at the other answer choices, although B pretty much looks pretty good. Answer choice C says Peterson receives a $3,000 bonus. Well, we definitely know that P has to be under the $1,000. Next, K receives the same bonus as V. Well, no, we definitely know that K and V are going to get different bonuses. And lastly, P receives a bigger bonus than K. Well, no, currently P and K are getting the same bonus, so that's not going to work. So the best answer to question number 2 then becomes answer choice B. Next, question number 3 is once more a local question, so we can do this one next. If only one of the employees receives a $1,000 bonus, well, let's take a look. If we can only have one person get a $1,000 bonus right now, so there's only one space here, I guess the question then becomes, what does that mean for us? Well, first let's bring down what we have. We know V and Z and X, as usual, are going to be locked in their places. Now, in terms of who can get a $1,000 bonus, the thing is, we definitely know that none of the graphics guys are going to get a $1,000 bonus. Moreover, L and M are certainly not going to get a $1,000 bonus, which means that if anybody is going to get a $1,000 bonus, it's going to be one of K or P. Now, we're only allowed one of K or P, right? Because we said there's only one person receiving a $1,000 bonus right now. So we can say one of K or P is going to go here. To be fair, we don't quite know which one. That said, though, if we can only have one of them get a $1,000 bonus, well, then that kind of raises the question of where's the other one going to go? Well, the thing is, we definitely know K and P cannot get a $5,000 bonus because they have to be lower than L and M, which means that the other of K or P is going to have to get a $3,000 bonus. So we can kind of lock that into place over here. Which now means that, well, wait a minute, if one of K or P is getting a $3,000 bonus, but L and M are both supposed to get higher bonuses, well, then that would have to mean that L and M are going to have to get $5,000 bonuses. So that's taken care of. The question itself now asks, which of the following must be true? A, M receives a $5,000 bonus. Well, as a matter of fact, M does receive a $5,000 bonus. So the best answer choice to question number 3 happens to be A. Next, question number 4 is global. So you know what, we're going to come back to that one in a moment just because it's good practice to do the global questions afterwards. Let's take a look at question number 5, which happens to be our next local question. So question number 5 says, if exactly 2 employees receive $5,000 bonuses, then which of the following, well, let's take a look. If we have to have exactly 2 people receive $5,000 bonuses, so there's going to be only 2 spaces here. Well, first of all, we definitely know that, as usual, X has to be one of those people. So we can lock X into the $5,000 bonus slot. Now, the other person who's going to get a $5,000 bonus, this is actually pretty similar to the previous question because we definitely know that $5,000 is not going to be given to V or Z or K or P. The only people who could get a $5,000 bonus there are L and M, which means that the second person is definitely going to be one of L or M. That said, though, if only one of L or M can get that $5,000 bonus, that of course again raises the question of who's going to get, what bonus the other of the 2 is going to get. And well, it's going to have to be $3,000 because we know that the other of L or M certainly can't fall into the $1,000. So we know that the other of L or M is going to have to get a $3,000 bonus. And of course, as usual, we can add on everything else that we know. V and Z are obviously going to get $3,000. And lastly, we know that K and P are both supposed to get lower bonuses than both L and M. So since one of L or M is in $3,000, we know that both K and P are going to be stuck with $1,000 bonuses at the moment. So now the question asks, which of the following must be true? Answer choice A says L receives a $3,000 bonus. Well, we don't quite know what's going to happen between L and M and which one's which, so since the question is asking for what must be true, we can't quite commit to that. Answer choice B says M receives a $3,000 bonus. Well, again, M could receive a $3,000 bonus, but at the same time, he doesn't have to. L and M could kind of flip between these 2 positions. Next, answer choice C. Meng is one of the employees receives a $5,000 bonus. Well, again, that doesn't quite have to be true. I mean, he could get a $5,000 bonus, but he doesn't have to. Answer choice D. Peterson receives a $1,000 bonus, and this absolutely has to be true. Peterson does get a $1,000 bonus. Best answer to question number 5 is D. Just in case, let's take a look at E. Peterson receives a $3,000 bonus. No, that's definitely wrong because we know that Peterson gets a $1,000 bonus. Next. So question number 6 is a global question as well, so we'll just now do the rest of the global questions. Let's take a look back to question number 4, which says, which of the following must be true? A, at least one of the employees receives a $1,000 bonus. Well, I guess the question is, does somebody have to get a $1,000 bonus? Arguably, so far in our history, we've seen somebody always get a $1,000 bonus, but arguably those are just local restrictions, right? Hypothetically, couldn't we place both K and P into $3,000 and then L and M both into $5,000? I mean, there's not really many rules here, so it doesn't seem like anything would stop that from happening. So answer choice A certainly doesn't seem like it would have to be true. There doesn't seem to have to be somebody who gets a $1,000 bonus. Next, at least one of the three employees receives, at least 3 of the employees received a $3,000 bonus. Well, the thing is, we definitely know that at least 2 people received $3,000, right? But do we have to have another person here? I mean, arguably, in the same vein as the previous one, couldn't we have K and P both get a $1,000 bonus, and then L and M can both get a $5,000 bonus, leaving V and Z as the only 2 people with a $3,000 bonus? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would have to be true that there's a third person that picks up a $3,000 bonus. Next, C. At most 3 people receive a $3,000 bonus. So I guess going slightly the other way, must it be true that the most we can have under $3,000 is 3 people? Or I guess in other words, could we have 4 people in $3,000? Well, we actually proved that a little bit earlier because we said, couldn't we potentially have both K and P? So we could have V, Z, K, P under $3,000, and then L and M can both get $5,000. I mean, that seems like it could work, right? There doesn't seem to be any rules that would stop that from happening, which means there's no reason to say that the most under $3,000 would be 3 people. You could arguably have 4. So answer choice C would also seem to be out. Next, answer choice D. At least 2 people receive $5,000 bonuses. Well, we definitely know that X receives a $5,000 bonus, but again, do we have to have a second person here? Well, in the same kind of vein that we've been using so far, K and P have to both get lower numbers than L and M, but couldn't we put K and P both under $1,000 and then L and M both under $3,000, in which case X could be the only one that receives a $5,000 bonus? I mean, that could happen, right? Which means, does it have to be true that there's at least 2 people under $5,000? No, we could have just 1 person under $5,000. So answer choice D doesn't seem like it would have to be true. And lastly, answer choice E. At most 3 of the employees receive $5,000 bonuses. So again, the question becomes, do we have to have at most 3 under 5,000? Or in other words, could we have more than that? Could we have perhaps 4 people get a $5,000 bonus? Well, we definitely know that X and Z are not getting $5,000 bonuses. And the thing is, we also know that K and P certainly are not going to get $5,000 bonuses, which means if K, P, V, and Z are not going to get $5,000 bonuses, the only people left are really X, L, and M. There's really only 3 people that could possibly get a $5,000 bonus, which means this would have to be true, that at most 3 employees would receive a $5,000 bonus. Best answer to number 4 is E. Next, lastly, number 6, any of the following could be true of the 7 employees except. So essentially, I guess, what cannot possibly happen? Answer choice A. The same number receive $1,000 bonuses as receive $3,000 bonuses. So I guess, is it possible to have the same number under 3 as we do under 1,000? Well, the thing is, we definitely know that we have at least 2 people under the $3,000 bonus, but couldn't we have also 2 people under the $1,000 bonus? Specifically, K and P could both go under $1,000, and then L and M could both go under the $5,000, in which case we could have 2 here and 2 there. That actually seems very plausible, in which case answer choice A presumably could be true. So we can cross that one off. Next, answer choice B. More receive $1,000 bonuses than receive $3,000 bonuses. So I guess, could we have more people under the $1,000 than we have under the $3,000? Well, since we already have 2 people under the $3,000, in order to have more under $1,000, we would have to have at least 3 people there. Except that's not really going to work, is it? Because we know that L and M are not going to get $1,000 bonuses, and certainly not X. The only people that really could receive $1,000 bonuses are K and P, which means that the most that we can have receiving $1,000 bonuses are 2 people, which means it's impossible for there to be more people under $1,000 than we have under $3,000, because we already have at least 2 people under $3,000. So the best answer to question number 6 then becomes B. This cannot possibly be true.